Yet another IPL thriller. One for the ages, one for the classics, one for Mumbai Indians and one for Karun Pollard to savour. It took the final ball of the 20th over, a 7-ball 20th over, which included everything. A no ball, a six, a boundary, a wicket, dot balls. It included 2 of the last balls scurried through by Alzarri Joseph. But it starts and ends with Karun Pollard, who's taken Mumbai through literally on his own on a day when he was also given the added responsibility to lead. KL Rahul's fine and maiden IPL 100 in vain. Mohammad Shami standing out on a batting paradise also in vain. And we've had an absolute IPL classic to talk about on ESPN Cricinfo Matchday T20 in the company of Dasgupta and Sean Tate. Wow, where do we begin? Karun Pollard, the difference.
Absolutely.
No nerves held under pressure by Punjab. What sort of game does this feel like? One that Pollard has won on his own, or one that Punjab just couldn't keep their nerve with?
For me, I think a couple of things. Obviously, Pollard and his knock of 83, but also the fact that him coming at number 4.
Yes.
That kind of changed the whole plan as far as Kings 11 was concerned. Generally, I would like to believe they would have planned to get Villian for the death. They wanted to keep maybe a few more overs from Shami or someone. But Pollard coming at number 4 and in the middle overs, obviously had to finish Villian in there, and then they had to leave. They left with Sam Curran, couple of overs from Sam Curran in the
Now,
death.
big statement that. Good point, Deep, that you make. Because Ishan Kishan, Hardik, Krunal Pandya more often used at that position.
Yeah.
We don't associate Pollard. We had this chat even before the show to bat for long periods.
True.
He's in the end batted just 30 balls.
I think-
but he's batted for a long period of the game.
Well, I think that was a make or break for winning the game. I think you can, in that situation where you have to send someone to win the game for you, no matter, if that didn't happen, they would have lost, basically. So I think normally, yes, he's better in the last 5 overs, but in a situation like that, and even Pandya as well after him, they sent him in as well. Good move as well. Get 2 match winners in to get the job done. And Polly doesn't feel pressure. I'm sure he does a little bit, but he's been around long enough in those situations to hold his nerve where at times, obviously, some of these younger bowlers, just they don't. So.
Might I also sense maybe a lesson or two that's being taken from the MS Dhoni school of current finishing, which is pick and choose your bowlers.
Absolutely.
He's not taken Hardis Villian on, he's not taken Mohammad Shami on, and he's picked, even though it might be 20 to get an over from the rest, he's backing himself.
Absolutely. I mean, the planning was spot on. I mean, it's not just the planning, the execution as well to a great extent till the time he got out, the last over. I thought, so obviously, I mean, the team management, Pollard for executing the whole plan was absolutely brilliant. And as you mentioned, he picked his bowler. I mean, Shami, he let Shami go. He was happy taking single, even dot balls for that matter. Villian, he didn't take chances.
We're just focusing on this phase because this is when we're looking at after the 10th over, they were 65 for 3. Then the 11th over, Pollard has hit 11 of Ashwin, so he's taken Ashwin on. He's then hit 18 of the 12th over of Sam Curran. After that, he's hit 15 have come of the over of Hardis Villian, which are essentially of the bat of Hardik Pandya and an unfortunate 5 wide that didn't make matters any easier, which shouldn't have been. Then in the 14th over, again, Pollard's taken Ashwin on and he's got 19 of that. In comes Hardis Villian, there's just knocked it around for 7. Mohammad Shami knocked it around for 2. Sam Curran again, he's gone for 14. Mohammad Shami again back. Alzarri Joseph gets a boundary, so it makes it look like an 8-run over, but that's still good. Pollard's not taking him on. And then finally the big onslaught, 17 of the 19th over by Sam Curran, and eventually 15 of the final over by Ankit Rajput. That in itself tells a wonderful story of how Pollard has almost thought this chase through, which goes to what you said at the pre-show. Sometimes we don't give Pollard enough credit for the intelligence that he might possess of match situation. He led today and he mastered a chase under pressure to perfection.
Absolutely. There was times in the field where he looked a little uncertain what he was doing, but certainly with the bat, just holding his nerve and a great captain's knock. That's what he gets paid for, basically. To be honest, even for his standards, that's a really unbelievable innings, to be honest. I mean, it's like, for a time, there was like stick cricket. I mean, not many guys can come out and just continue to knock the ball over the fence. Although, you got to say, and I know it's hard with a moist ball. And not to put on Sam Curran, but you continue to bowl length balls every single ball to a guy that's where if Karun Pollard said to me, this is what the balls I want to face at the end. Length balls just outside off stump, thanks. That's exactly what they bowled to him.
Yeah, I think Sam Curran, we've known his limitations. If anything, he's punched over his weight. He's 20. He can understand. You all have mentioned his issues. But Ankit Rajput comes on last over. You still got 15. That's good runs to play with. And maybe you called it before that first ball when he's come right on around. He's been off the field for so long. There's a good chance he's going to bowl a no ball. That's what Sean Tate said just before, and it happened. Why does that happen to you?
Well, I just find that, I mean, you don't practice enough for the nets in general. I mean,
right arm round.
A lot of guys do. A lot of guys nowadays do. They do practice a little bit around the wicket, but all game they bowl over the wicket, and then the last over to win the match, you decide to come around the wicket.
Yeah.
Usually, you haven't practiced your run up. You haven't got rhythm. You don't practice enough at training to have rhythm in your run up around the wicket. It's completely different. So, at the end, I think you confuse things way too much.
Yeah.
Stick to what you know and just execute. And I think the other thing is that they didn't bowl any bounces or short balls at Pollard until right at the end, and they got a wicket. So yeah, I mean it is a tough one. It's easy to sit here and talk about death bowling, but again, I'll just keep reiterating it. Not enough Yorker length deliveries.
Okay, I'll just get one more thing from you, which is that you were calling for a bouncer to be used more too. And maybe Sam Curran can't get that with his sort of
Sam Curran's
bowling.
different, yeah, to be
but
fair.
Rajput, who eventually got him with the bouncer, you would have perhaps...
Early in his innings.
Yeah. Okay.
Early in Pollard's innings, I just feel there should have been some more.
Even
He doesn't
for that.
he tends to not like it through there. I mean, you got Hardest and these guys bowling at him. Get it through there to him and just test him out at least.
Yes, Deep, you had a point.
Yeah, I mean, also the fact that he was sitting till the 19th over
Yeah.
inside the dugout. I mean,
Rajput,
it's
yeah.
Rajput. I mean, it's difficult.
Body's cold. And
Body's cool, you're relaxed, or you're tense. What happens is once you cross the line, you tend to get involved with the game a little more. You're not thinking about what you're going to do. You're just thinking about the game situation, what the batsman is doing and all. Sitting outside, and it's a different ball game. So I was a little surprised that it was decided that he's going to bowl the 20th, and he should have been on the field an hour ago.
Yeah.
Then his last 3 or 4 deliveries, he hit his Yorkers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they were what, 1s and 2s?
Yeah.
That's too late. It's too late by then.
Yeah, I mean, it almost was a difference of one ball. And he got it right on the first ball, maybe got the Pollard wicket. Even after the 6th no ball, if that extra boundary hadn't come, you could see that it was getting to Rahul Chahar and Alzari Joseph. But it was to be Mumbai's night, and it wasn't to be Mohammad Shami's. It was still his night personally, because what a performance he's put in on a day when runs have become... It was essentially batting paradise. Nearly 400 runs scored on the day, and the fact that bowlers were getting hit for sixes left, right and centre, he's arguably Deep out-bowled Jasprit Bumrah today.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, no two ways about it, and brilliant as you mentioned. I mean, now when rest of the bowlers, I mean, the match run rate was 10 and over. He went for what 21 if it's for 5.25 and 3 wickets. Listen, that is great news because I'm also looking at the World Cup and saying, listen, if India's going to go in with 2 fast bowlers in their playing 11, so you know Bumrah is going to be one of them.
Yeah.
And who is going to put their hands up? And at this point in time, it's Shami before Bhuvi.
You've got a good look at Bhuvneshwar Kumar this IPL. We know what Bumrah is all about. You're seeing Mohammad Shami, you're seeing a lot of the other fast bowlers around. What's it about Mohammad Shami's bowling that you're seeing that makes it look like he's acing it, or he's just better, or he's doing better than the others?
One, he knows his own game extremely well. I know we talk about death bowling, but he's the sort of guy that goes, okay, I'm swinging the ball, I'm going to do a reverse swing here. He knows his game well enough that his go-to strength is that just length ball, short of length.
Hard Indian length.
He sticks to it. He doesn't stray from that plan at all.
Yeah.
And he can actually bowl a good York if he wants to. But I just feel that to me he's a no fuss cricketer.
Sure.
And it's extremely refreshing to watch him go about his business.
And also his release, we keep talking about his release, but it does affect even with the white ball, correct me if I'm wrong. A red ball obviously does move around and all that, but even with the white ball, because it skids through.
Yeah, we
so
saw that.
he's a lot quicker than what batsmen expect. And that's the reason he gets away with those back of length or length balls, because it's a lot quicker than you expect it to be.
You made a good point too, that there aren't too many variations tried by Mohammad Shami, because I mean, he got a wicket of Krunal Pandya off a slow one. But fact is, we were almost complaining while watching the game that Mumbai were just getting their types of balls wrong for the surface.
Because I just have a feeling, and we were discussing about it, there are times that I think T20 teams and players, they kind of overcomplicate things. Just try and keep it simple. Do what you mentioned, round the wicket the last over from Ankit. Maybe he's not used to it. If he's not used to it, don't bowl it.
I think you play T20 game and the bowling doesn't go well for you. I've been in teams and they all of a sudden panic and go, right, next game we have to do something completely different. If you stick to a team plan it should work over, say, 5 or 6 games, 4 of those games is probably going to work out for you.
Sure.
So I think rather than panicking and trying to do something different every game, I think that's the wrong way to go about it.
That's the other thing is T20 format, not going to have the same level of consistency as you would have in Test match cricket. I mean, you take more chances, you take more risk. Obviously, you're not going to be as consistent, be it a bowler or a batsman.
Yeah.
There'll be days where you're going to go for 60 in 4. But chances are, I mean, you're a good bowler if those percentages are down. If that's once in 4, once in 5, you're happy with it.
Yep.
So obviously you can't be consistent. So you can't be, and also I mean T20 tournaments, you have tournaments with 8 matches, 10 matches. At times maybe the team management is kind of obliged to make quick changes.
Absolutely.
Because it's not a longish tournament. It's not a year long or a 6 months. It's like 14 games, 10 games. So at times if it's not working in 2-3 games, you're kind of like thinking, let's try something, let's change it around.
All right.
Yep.
Well, it didn't work for the rest of the bowlers, but it certainly worked for Mohammad Shami. But speaking of the rest of the bowlers, do Kings 11, do R. Ashwin and Mike Hesson and Kohli to actually rethink the way they approach games? They have exactly 5 bowling options and they've invested a lot of faith in Sam Curran. They're not playing this game with Andrew Tye or Mujibur Rahman, and therefore we have the larger point now of whether Punjab have just been shown a significant weakness of their bowling. Yes, it could have come down to fine margins and maybe they could have even ended on the right side of this result. But Terry, when you look at that bowling lineup, are you thinking somewhere Punjab need to change things around after today's game?
Possibly. I mean, you'd like to be able to call on AJ Tye, who over the past few seasons has been a proven bowler under pressure. But at the moment, in this current season, I don't think he's the same bowler.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he's that reliable guy anymore. So.
But even if he does come in, that still gives you
gives
5
you-
bowlers to go with.
Well, I think the only other option is, and I'm not saying he's a saviour with the bowling attack, but Moses Enriquez obviously can bat, field and bowl. So you might be able to get 2 overs out of him.
So he would probably come in for a David Miller.
And David Miller's a good cricketer, we know that, but at the moment he's not playing the way that, that
he's
we're
not
expecting
punching,
to play. So
he's not pulling his
I
weight.
don't see what you're going to lose bringing Enriquez in. You're going to gain a couple of overs of the ball.
Could Ashwin have done anything differently today to get an over or 2 out of someone else?
See, even if they don't want to change it, even if they don't want to change the playing 11, they still have options. Mandeep can bowl an over. What I'm saying is, as soon as a wicket falls, or the 7th over, generally 7th
pick and
over
choose
is,
those
yeah,
overs.
7th over, then you have the first over of the game, or the 13th over, or straight after the strategic timeout, maybe the 10th over, are generally statistically proven that those overs don't go for too many runs. Just put in someone like a Mandeep or a Karun Nair. Karun Nair was playing in this game. He bowls every now and then.
Spin, yeah.
And you've got Chris Gayle. I mean, I was surprised. Hopefully, he's fit enough to play the next game, but he was out for 20 overs.
Yeah,
He can
sure.
come in and bowl an over on 2. I mean, he's done that before. So I would like to see most of the teams just use those tactical overs like the 7th, the 10th, the 13th, just to get an over from your 6th bowling option. Just, that insurance.
Yeah, I mean, that could have allowed Ashwin the luxury of not having to bowl Sam Curran out. Or if Ankit Rajput was unfit, let's say it was a worse injury, that could have given Ashwin something to work with. He's a very astute captain tactically, R. Ashwin, but maybe they need to look at whether they can allow a 6th bowling option. Like Teddy says, maybe Moses Enriquez could be the answer in place of someone like David Miller. It's a call they need to take in a couple of days when they're in action next. As of today, the 5 bowler theory not quite working. It's not great when you play the kind of innings that KL Rahul did or Chris Gayle did and you end up on the losing side, but it's worthy mentioning their efforts because they were absolutely sensational with bat after the toss was lost by Punjab and they were put in. We saw the very best of Chris Gayle today, Teddy. It's why we keep saying even if he gets you 3 or 4 games of single-digit scores, you just got to keep playing him.
It's hard to leave him out, isn't it? Like he's a match winner, there's no doubt about that. To be honest, this innings, obviously, between him and KL, that was typically a match-winning performance. Just so happened to lose a very tight game, but it's just great to watch. He's obviously he's been around a long time. He knows his own game. He sticks to it, and more often than not, it sort of comes off. And be interesting to see how the rest of his tournament goes if he can keep up that consistency.
Even to bowl to Chris Gayle, it's one thing to bowl to Pollard, but once you bowl to Chris Gayle, Mumbai's got a very decent bowling lineup. They had Behrendorff, they had Bumrah, they had Alzari Joseph, who's come off some confidence. Did they sort of get it wrong with Gayle early on?
I mean, nothing really stood out to me that they got.
They used a few off-cutters, Behrendorff tried to.
When he's going like that, he's extremely hard to bowl to.
Yeah.
Maybe Ashwin bowling to him, maybe?
Gayle.
To Gayle? Yeah.
We need an off-spinner, you're saying. Ashwin.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry.
It's late in the night. Getting
Rahul Share, someone like
getting Rahul,
Chair,
getting the leg spinner early on, just pour
spinner,
googlies to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just give it a try.
Something different. KL Rahul, very best we've seen of him. We've seen shades of brilliance from Rahul, but this is easily his best knock this season so far.
Yeah.
Does this do his World Cup chances, if there was any doubt at all? Does that put that doubt to bed?
Yeah, I'm sure about that. I'm sure about that because I think this was close to complete innings from him, a perfect innings from him. Because the way he paced it, he played the situation, he played according to the situation and also the partners that he was playing with, and he finished it off brilliantly. I mean, the last few overs, I think last 3 overs went for 54 or something.
Yes.
It did help that Alzari Joseph didn't bowl the 19th and Hardik did. But yeah, having said that, I think it was very close to being a perfect knock.
Would have been, I think it would have been an IPL career-defining innings in Mumbai against the heavyweights with a lot of people watching. Against some of his great mates as well.
Sure.
But they didn't win.
Yeah.
If they won, that would have been a career-defining. Not now. He's probably sitting back going, still that little bit extra.
Yeah, well, it was brilliant just the same to watch the fact that the Mumbai crowd tonight got treated to Chris Gayle at his best, Rahul at his best, and Karun Pollard at his best. That's whatever money you might have paid for that ticket. That's very much worthwhile, even though it's taken best part of 4 hours to get this game done and dusted. Let's go to the points table and have a look at what that does, this result. Mumbai nicely and conveniently displays Punjab for third spot, so they just pipped them on net run rate. Keep an eye on net run rate because this could very well turn out to be a close contest given Hyderabad's recent 2 defeats, the fact that Delhi are a good looking team that blow hot and cold, Punjab seems to have punched above their weight, Chennai of course look head and shoulders above the rest in terms of results, but they've got 4 away games on the trot starting tomorrow, or rather starting today in about 10 hours, so that's something they've got to factor through, and of course this Kolkata you can never keep out. Let's have a look at how our Fab 4 scores look like for Sean Tate and Dasgupta, and they picked all the big boys except Krunal Pandya for today. Jasprit Bumrah just got the 20, but Sean Tate got some points by Chris Gayle and Samuel Curran.
I think you've got a big one.
152 for Sean. Let's have a look at Deep.
Oh!
There we have it, 130 by Rahul, 80 for Shami, 59 Hardik Pandya, Alzari Joseph. He hit the winning runs. Yeah. Those are the ones that matter. We should give bonuses for that. But you don't, because you don't need bonuses to beat Sean Tate in any contest these days.
I was going to say, this is getting a bit embarrassing.
It is, isn't it?
It's both ends, the start of the show, the quiz, and now the end of the show.
It's just terrible. What can we do about it? We're stuck with you for the next 3 weeks.
I didn't go to a very good school.
All we can do is...
I didn't go to a very good school or anything like that. I didn't.
Yeah, all we can do is
Deep
hope...
was a silver spoon.
No,
good education.
Far from it.
All these
What I've got is
princes
silver
of
cry
Bengal.
though.
These princes of Bengal. Let's hope that you up your game tomorrow, Teddy. Or again, like I said today. Thank you to Deep Dasgupta. Thank you to Sean Tate for a thriller of a game that we managed to watch together between Mumbai and Punjab. Hopefully many more of these to come. The IPL needed this. A little bit of an injection to a top-level, nail-biting, high-scoring, high-packed chase after a few sluggish games in the last few days. Let's hope the rest of the week can match up to what Karun Pollard has done on his night as captain of the Mumbai Indians. He's played one of his finest IPL innings and he's taken his team home.